Hi guys. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the resilience of a people. The resilience of a people. So have you guys ever wondered why it is that no matter what the black race has gone throughout time, throughout Western civilization, throughout history, that we are still standing? Have you guys ever wondered how it's possible that a group of people who were once considered slaves in a country where its founding fathers made sure that they were not able to lift their heads to do anything? They were not able to read or write. They were not able to even worship in the way that they wanted to. And yet somehow, through the midst and through the challenges, through everything, they continue to emerge and victorious. And not only did they emerge victorious, they actually took seats in government among the very people that oppressed them, you guys. And not only did they do that, they actually became president. They became the head of the nation. I know that a lot of us would like to believe that Barack Obama was the first black president, but according to hidden history, which I have had a whiff of, I've read, it actually appears that there's a possibility that we have had a black president before in the past. But that has been suppressed and covered up by history, you know? And when you think about all these things, how a people, nowhere in the world do I know, maybe there are a couple places, but for the most part, people who are have traditionally been known as slaves in a nation, they never get to rise up to the point of becoming either prime ministers or kings or queens or presidents in this case. But for some reason, there has been a special guiding hand. If you really look at it carefully, there has been a special hand that has been upon the black race, that in spite of everything that we have been through, we are still able to not only emerge. Maybe we're not whole. Obviously, you're never going to be whole from years of abuse. But we always come out in such a way that we're able to thrive in spite of all the trauma. And not only are we able to thrive, we're also able to take control and take residence among those who are mistreating and have enslaved us. You guys, I don't take this lightly, and I don't think you should either. There has been a guiding hand, and I cannot say that it's the quote-unquote ancestors, because most of our ancestors were either taken from into slavery, or they were in helpless situations. So if it was a matter of ancestors, the Native Americans wouldn't have been wiped out to the point of being driven to reservations and having almost 100% of their land taken. If that was the case, we would be like them, who have basically now have a new face. You have, for the most part, you have people who have white features, who can claim their Native ancestry, And for the most part, even the Native Americans do not look like what they used to be. So it's pretty much like they have been destroyed, and driven into a contained environment whereby their actions are being watched and carefully. They're basically still enslaved, But our people, as much as, yes, we are enslaved mentally and there are things that continue to happen to us, we are thriving in spite of it all. I don't think that that's a coincidence. I think that there is a special hand upon us. And a lot of us seem to overlook that because we always make light of the Most High, because for some reason we have belittled him into the baby Jesus, if you will. We have boxed him into what Christianity has painted him as, as this loving person who could never do any wrong to us, who is always forgiving, always loving, always wants to love on us, But a lot of us don't see him as this fierce warrior that has defended his own through the centuries. And so it should make us to wonder as to how we even got in the situation that we got into. If we are being protected in the situation that we're in, for the most part, then that means that the person that got us in that situation has a very much high awareness that we are in that situation and has more than likely caused that situation to happen, And this is where the word of the Most High comes in. As much as we like to dismiss it because it doesn't, certain things don't favor us, and by us being, the white population and also sometimes the black population, because we tend to think that is not our book, that it was written by people other than us. Even though history and evidence, historical evidence seems to suggest otherwise, there's an evidence that something is with us, and that thing very much is mindful of us, And so I think that we should rejoice in that fact, that we are not alone. We are being guided by something. And that something is the Most High God, who is Yahweh, or Yahuwah, as some would like to think of him, or God. I don't like to call him God because God can include anything. Furthermore, I know that before I've talked about the fact that we were the first man. We, are known in all civilizations. When you go to India, there's a hidden African people there, African population. You go to even Iran, they can tell you that somewhere up in the mountains they have a black population that's been there since centuries, since like the country started, right? Or the nation started. And so it's no surprise to me when I read the stories of Nebuchadnezzar and the stories of Daniel and Meshach and Abednego and all these people. And then when I'm now finding out that a lot of these events happened around Iran, around India, Persia, Persia was, I want to think that it's part of Iran because they do call themselves Persians as well. So our presence has been heavily felt in history, even though it has been heavily covered, And while a lot of people hate to admit their blackness or their black heritage, it's undeniable in their features. And the Most High has made it so because he has a very, very, very funny sense of humor. I don't think it's funny at all, actually. I think it's quite impeccable. Because for those who try as much to hide who they are or to run away from the possibility of what could be, the Most High has a way of revealing that very thing that they hide from in them, And so I say all this to say, this is my address to us as a black people, is that we cannot afford to give up. This is a time where things, as foretold, are going to get worse. But it's also a time that we should be encouraged that those who trust in this Most High God who has kept us all this while, if we trust in him and believe that he has been the one that has kept us, then we are going to be okay. He's going to protect us in the midst of the fiery furnace, even as he did among our people in the days of Nebuchadnezzar and the days of kings who were powerful. You know, many people derive joy in mocking this Most High God because they have, as I said, they have brought him down low to a baby. You know, they cannot even remotely imagine that he could be powerful. And it's laughable because I think about so many things that happen and I could see right through it. I could see his hand in it, you know? And so I want to encourage you not to even listen to these people. Don't even acknowledge how or what they feel about the Most High and about the Bible and everything. Look unto him directly. And even if you are of the majority, you are of the white race, the Most High is still interested in you because you are a human being and you were created in his image. But you have to align yourself to the truth of his word and the light that he is giving you. And what is that light? It is the fact that those who hate his people, and his people specifically being the black race, those who despise them will be despised. And as much as we would like to believe that the true nation and the true people of the Most High are currently in Israel, prophecy as well as the word of the Most High has revealed to us that those people are not the true people. Okay? So while you feel comfortable knowing that you try to convince yourself that they are the true people, and you make sure you send all your funds and send everything to them because you know that they are occupying and they look just like you, and so you are very much comfortable in supporting that. Remember what the word says, and that is, as you support the true Israelites, the true Hebrew people, the Most High will support you. As you bless them, he will bless you. And as you curse them, he will curse you. Now, on the other hand, there are also the true Hebrews who they're also black people, let me just say that, who are living in sin, who are living in open rebellion, who are even the ones that are driving themselves down and bringing each other down. Make no mistakes, these people are not going to be included in this prophecy. They are going to be destroyed just as much as the majority is going to be. And why is that? Because they choose to side with their oppressors. They choose to side with people whom they know have kept them down all these years. But because of what they stand to gain and because of the comfortableness of it all, they willfully accept a lie while the truth is glaring in their faces. So I wanted to touch on this topic because I've decided to speak on the true word of the Most High and to not mince words, while also being careful to speak with grace. Because I believe that this platform that I have is for a reason. And so as much as I know that I may have done damage to it by addressing certain things that should have been seasoned with grace, I also admit and I also realize that people do need to hear the truth. And so I do not speak specifically to target a specific person. I speak in general. And so it is up to you now to make of it what you will. So I thank you for listening. And I want you to know and keep it at the back of your mind that our existence as a people, as a preserved race, in spite of all that we have been through, in spite of all the occupations that have gone through in Africa, you have countries that have been colonized by the French. And then you have countries that have been colonized by the British and the Portuguese. There have even been countries that, like the Congo, that have had the Dutch, and they were forced to, make rubber and make all these things, have had their hands cut off historically by, I believe it was King Leopold of the Dutch people. Basically, our people has gone through horrors of horrors. And yet we can confidently say that we are the only race in this entire world that is still standing and still looks the same. We haven't been whited out, if you will. We still look like who we are. In some cases, not so much. Like you have people in Australia, the black origins, the black people who were there, people who were in Hawaii, who have now been mixed with Asian. There's many cases that, it has happened. But for the ones who have been the true Hebrews, who have been basically as a majority, okay, our people are still standing strong, and will still continue to stand strong because there is a guiding hand. So I want us to be encouraged by this and to know that we were the beginning of the world, and we will still be there at the end, right? Nobody is going to force us out. No matter what they do, they've tried several times to wipe us out off this world, but somehow, even as early back in Egypt of old, because we know that we are living in Babylon and also the new Egypt, and that's why you look at the dollar sign and the dollars bill and these, like the Egyptian pyramid and everything. This is symbolically the new Egypt, as well as it is Babylon. So as far back as Egypt was back then, they have tried to wipe out our people. Pharaoh has, in many cases tried to kill the newborns, just to try to make our population go extinct. But the reverse happened. Okay, the reverse happened. Not only did our population double, but Moses, who was the deliverer that the Most High appointed for his people, emerged in the midst of that. And so we should be encouraged. We should be happy. We should be joyful that the hand of the Most High is with us no matter what happens. And just like our people of old, in the olden times, we are going to make it through. No matter what the enemy has planned for us in these last days, let us not take our eyes off the truth, of this truth. And also, let us not take our eyes off the Most High God, who is the truth and the light. Let us be encouraged, and let us continue to keep going. And I tell this to myself as well, because we go through so much and we forget how far we've come. So I pray a blessing over us as a people, and I also pray a blessing over those who decide to help us, who have chosen to help us, because they realize that truth will always overpower lies. It will always overpower lies, just like the Most High will always overpower Satan and his people and his angels. As it was in the beginning, when the war broke out in heaven and there was war in heaven, so shall it continue to be, and so shall it be in the future. So let us be encouraged. We are blessed and we are highly favored, and no weapon formed against us shall prosper. I thank you guys so much. This is evening time, but I wanted to make this video because, as I said, I want to take advantage of any platform that the Most High gives me at this point, because it never occurred to me that my voice was so powerful, that it's moving people to make drastic decisions that I wasn't even aware that they could take. So clearly what I think matters, and I don't by any means take it lightly, and I want as much as possible to utilize it to the best of my ability. I also want to take this opportunity to apologize to those that I have targeted specifically, because I do realize now that having this voice that I have, it does affect people more when I target them specifically. So I want to apologize to people who I have targeted and who have gone ahead to make decisions that have not been favorable to me or to those that I have had in mind. So it is true that we all have our own opinions, but as I've said before, I am going to definitely work on seasoning my words with grace. And if I can't do that, then to just work on keeping silent. So thank you all so much, and I hope that you have a great evening. And until next time.